In today's video, I'm going to share with you the best and new ways to make money this week in GTA Online. First, I should mention that there's currently triple money and RP on new community series jobs, as well as 1.5 times money on the Project Overthrow missions that just came out with the new DLC. In order to do the Project Overthrow missions, you will have to have an Avenger and the operations terminal for it. There are 6 missions total and they don't pay out that well, but if you're looking for some new content, you might as well try them out. Now, none of the businesses in the game received a money bonus for the week, so here are some great ways to make money. The first one, of course, is the Cayo Perico Heist. This can be accessed by purchasing a Kasaka submarine, and every time you do it, you will be earning about $1.3 to $1.5 million on average. This heist takes anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, depending on how fast you can do it, and there is a 2.5 hour cooldown if you're doing it solo. Now, if you want to make some extra money with the heist, make sure to do it in hard mode. That will give a 10% buff on all of your loot. And the way to access it is to make sure to restart the heist within a 45-minute window of the cooldown ending. Like I said, all loot gets a 10% increase in value, as well as the Elite Challenge pays out $100,000 instead of $50,000. So of course, the Cayo Perico Heist is the best way to make money, but there is that 2.5 hour cooldown. So in the meantime, here are a few things you could do. First, you could do a Dre Contract. This is a large contract that essentially has 3 mini heists within it and then 2 finale missions. It pays out $1 million at the very end of it, although if you include all the money you get from all the missions, it's about $1.1 million, and it takes about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to complete. Of course, in order to do this, you will have to own an agency and complete at least 1 security contract, but having this business is a major plus because it does allow you to do another money method that is great, which is payphone hits. These are simple assassination missions where if you complete the assassination plus a bonus challenge given to you, you will earn $85,000. They usually take between 5 and 10 minutes to complete, and they have a 48-minute cooldown now. It used to be 20, but now it's 48. In order to access these, you will have to complete 3 security contracts, but once you've done so, I highly suggest doing these as much as you possibly can. The next money method is to do the new LSA contracts. These are like the security contracts from the agency. You can access these by having the Avenger and the operations terminal. There is 3 different missions you could do or contracts that you could do. These will pay anywhere between the mid $40,000 range to the mid $60,000 range, of course, depending on difficulty. And each one comes with a bonus challenge that you can complete for $15,000. I've found they take about 10 minutes to complete and they each have a 48-minute cooldown, but you're able to play each one of them back to back to back just so long as you're switching between the 3. If you were to solely focus on these contracts, you could expect to make about $200,000 per hour just from doing these missions. While they don't pay out a ton of money, I highly suggest trying them out as they're pretty fun missions to complete and it's part of the new DLC. The next money method I'm going to talk about is the hangar business. Now, for a long time, this has been considered the worst business in the game, but it recently got a massive buff. It now allows us to do land, source, and sell missions, which are considerably easier than the previous air missions. The way this business works is you go to the hangar, you source a piece of cargo, bring it back to the hangar, and then you're able to sell it for a profit. Now, each piece of cargo is worth $30,000, but there is a catch with the business. If you happen to have a set number of a specific type of cargo, you can receive a percentage bonus when you sell. Now, the percentage bonus changes depending on which cargo it is and how much you have of it. I will leave the full spreadsheet you can see on screen here of each, showing you the percentage bonus and then of course how much money you would make during a sell mission. So there are some that are better than others, but of course at the end of the day it depends on how much you're able to source of each. So if you don't have the time to fill up a full 50 of one type of cargo, then you might want to go for a different choice if you can only fill up, let's say 10 or 20 pieces of cargo. Now, like I said, these source missions have become considerably easier because there is a land version that we can do now, which are very simple and straightforward. If you have something like a Sparrow or an Oppressor Mark II, an aerial vehicle, you could get places very quickly and complete these missions very quickly. I've found that on average, I'm either completing the mission within 3 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on the location of where the cargo is on the map. So now these source missions are considerably easier and faster, but that is not the end of the buff. You can also now do a land sell mission. And so far from everybody I've spoken to in the comments and from my own experience, every land sell mission only has one vehicle, which is a huge bonus because it means that we could do it completely solo and potentially in public sessions as well if you want to go for that high demand bonus. Now, of course, that vehicle can have between 1 to 10 deliveries, but I personally had a mission where I had 10 deliveries. It was actually a ton of fun because it took me throughout the city, but it was extremely easy to complete and I had plenty of time to do it. So with that being said, if you source the right kind of cargo and can do it at a decent pace, you could be making about $300,000 an hour now doing the hangar business, which is incredible. And of course, it's not the best moneymaker in the entire game, but this new buff definitely warrants people trying it out, so I highly suggest you doing so. And with that, we've come to the final money method for the week, which of course is the new time trials. This is the HSW time trial on the map. It's very simple to complete. And the second one, of course, is the regular HSW time trial up in the hills. I highly suggest having a Hokuchu drag if you have that, or a Batty 801. Those are great vehicles for these time trials, as well as the RC Bandito time trial is another one you could do. There's now daily time trials with a lower payout, but it does require you to have the Arena War Workshop and RC Bandito and a lot more, so I usually stick to just the first two time trials. Now, of course, if you really want to make the most amount of money this week, I highly suggest including passive income businesses into your money grind. Things such as the wall safe at the nightclub that can earn you $50,000 every single in-game day if you have your popularity maxed out. You could also do things like run the acid lab, which can get you about $100,000 per hour in passive income. Of course, you do have to call up Mutt to source supplies and do a final sale mission, so it's not completely passive, but these are ways to make some extra money this week, especially when everything is becoming more and more expensive in the game. Anyways, I hope this video helped you out. I'm thinking about doing more of these kinds of videos each week where I just show you some simple ways to make money, maybe $5–10 million, so that you guys can afford the things that you want in game. If you need some help completing the Perico heist, I will leave a link in the description down below to my guide, as well as a guide for the Dr. Dre contract and some other videos that would help brand new players if you are someone who is just getting into the game now. Anyways, that's all for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.